China is still communist because communism is the government owning the means of production. So the fact that they think it's capitalism, which capitalism is private ownership of the means of production, that's kind of cringe. That they, I don't know. So also, by the way, I'm gonna roll on my chair here. By the way, they do this thing where at the end of the video, after spreading their propaganda, their pro-Chinese Communist Party propaganda, they say it's becoming less free, which is like, you were just praising it for saving 80 million people out of poverty, which isn't even true. Now you're saying it's becoming less free? Well, why were you just simping for them, PooperU? That's called simping, and I don't approve of it. Like, the fact is, I don't know, people say China lifted people out of poverty, and those sources are from the Washington Post and other garbage. Okay, I thought Republicans were supposed to be the anti-Chinese Communist Party, because they're full-on simping. They're spreading the Chinese the Chinese Chinese Communist Party propaganda that China lifted over 800 million people out of poverty, which isn't true. You view the source, okay, and it's the Washington Post, and that is disgusting, and I want to jump out of the building now. That is so dumb. Dao Xiaoping learned about the anti-socialist I don't know, this is Chinese, I'm sorry for butchering the words, but Dao Xiaoping, like, okay, the Chinese Communist Party, like, it's not the CCP does not stand for the Chinese Capitalist Party, it stands for the Chinese Communist Party, right? And the idea that it's not the idea that it's not communist is putting feelings over facts. Camera TV with PooperU. The number one violent offenders against black people are other black people. Yeah, source needed. The number one offenders against number one offenders against Asian Americans are also black people. Source needed again. Also, pretty much every video I saw, it was like some white dude who was like simping for Trump, you know. Granted, not all Trump supporters beat up Asian people, like obviously not all of them, but there are some that would like to. Let's see. Both hashtag Black Lives Matter and both hashtag Asian Lives Matter are campaigns dedicated to stomping out white supremacy because clown world. Oh no, we want to get white supremacy out of America. We're such clowns, aren't we, Candace Owens? Well, Candace Owens is kind of like, I'm the one good black person sort of thing. Maybe that's just me though, I don't know.
Alright guys, thanks for coming to our racial sensitivity training for Coca-Cola. Look, there's been a whole lot of racism going on, so I'm here to tell you guys how to be less white.
Anti-racism equals anti-white, y'all. It's facts, y'all.
So you guys are listening, that's one of the first steps to being less white. Now, as a company, we need to institute a few changes. Excuse me? What does soda have to do with racism?
No, the fact is that there's some racism in corporations, like, I mean, Nestle's water is taking water from, like, you know, Pakistan and stuff, not, like, poor countries like Russia or something. Now, personally, I don't want them to take water from anybody, but there is racism in corporations. Also, black people are more likely to be unemployed than any group, if you look at any stat, and it's harder for black people to find jobs on average, so, you know, it's not soda, it's the fact that Coca-Cola is a corporation. But Coca-Cola, I will admit, that does sound, I like how he calls it Coca-Cola, that's pretty cool, but the video is kind of cringe, not gonna lie. Still though, Coca-Cola, good name, Will Witt.
You see, that is exactly what a defensive white person would say. You need a lot of help with your whiteness. First, no more vanilla Coca-Cola, chocolate Coca-Cola. Secondly, no more white polar bears. We're going black bears, baby. Third, no more white Santa Claus in our ads. Black Santa is the future. And fourth, no more white people enjoying our soda. Only POCs. Any questions? Actually, asking any questions about this training is racist. Stay woke.
Also, this whole, like, anti-white thing, y'all. Yeah, you know who else uses that argument? The KKK. So, also, by the way, this video isn't on YouTube, right? It's on PooperU's website, okay? And, you know, and I think they're doing that because cults, they usually try to show, you see, when it comes to, like, being a cult leader, which I guess Dennis Prager's kind of the CEO of PooperU. I guess Will, it's kind of like I don't know, he's up in the ranks anyway. When it comes to, like, cult techniques, you show the outsiders something somewhat reasonable, I guess. I mean, at least for PooperU standards. Like, most of PooperU use 5-minute videos. They don't say stuff that's cringe. But then you reel them in, and you slowly push them to the right wing, right? And this video wasn't even, and what my point is, the video wasn't even on YouTube. It was on PooperU's site. Also, by the way, vanilla Coca-Cola into chocolate Coca-Cola. Nobody's, well, maybe not nobody's, probably someone out there, but most people aren't, like, anti-white. We just want, you know, to address the problems of racism against black people that happens in this country. That's not offensive, okay? Boomer, you.
Secondly, no more white polar bears. We're going black bears, baby. Third, no more white Santa Claus in our ads. Black Santa is the future. And fourth, no more white people enjoying our soda. Only POCs. Any questions? Actually, asking any questions about this training is racist. Stay woke.
White bear. So no more polar bears. We're going black bears. Never heard that, but okay. Boomer humor is what this is called. Black is better. That's what she said. Ha ha. Also, conservatives kind of do this to an extent too. They do this like, oh y'all, you don't want us paying $700 billion on the military? You just hate America. Or, you don't want us giving money to Israel? You just hate the Jews, don't you, y'all? You just know you hate them Jews in America, y'all. Cause you a commie, ain't you now, Also, one last thing, I think, yeah, I don't know, I might go after this Freedom Tunes guy again, but maybe a later video, I don't know. Biden has actually been condemning some of the, so basically there was a shooting in Boulder, Colorado, and 10 people died, right? Youngest 20, oldest 65, 10 people died, right? And then Biden wanted to ban assault rifles, but then our old pal, Ted Cruz, he got, like, super mad, and he said, okay, well, how does Ted Cruz sound? The Democrats are playing, like, a circus, right? Which, how's the Democrats acting like a circus? Because, what, we want to have gun control. That doesn't mean we want to take away your guns, just gun control. Okay? Okay. Sound good? But they're gonna take our guns away, y'all. No sorry.
I can't believe it's been a full year.
It's felt like 100. Ow!
How dare you question the lockdowns?
Ow!
Science denial.
Bob has a point.
Ow! Why?
Originally, the goal was to flatten the curve so hospitals wouldn't be overwhelmed. Not to shut everything down until the disease went away. Ow.
Yeah, we wanted less people to die. Also, we really didn't have it wasn't even the lockdown that shut down businesses. It was the COVID pandemic, okay? And flatten the curve, yeah. I mean, I guess we didn't think there'll be as many deaths, because we thought it would be more of a bunch of people in a hospital, but it seems like
Disease went away. Ow.
But loosening up the lockdowns resulted in a bunch more deaths.
No. According to a recent study published in the journal Frontiers in Public Health, the lockdowns had no effect on death rate, but there is a positive correlation between death rate and life expectancy. In other words, in general, places with more elderly people have tended to have more deaths, regardless of how locked down they were. Also, high GDP countries with high life expectancies tend to have more citizens with inactive, sedentary lifestyles, and higher rates of obesity, which is a huge risk factor.
yeah, remember, people died, like 400,000 people dead because of COVID-19, and that's the CDC. And the CDC is more important than whatever source he is using, okay? Also, I mean, yeah, people still died of natural causes, but, come on, like, we could have a lot less deaths if we just, like, actually had, like, a lockdown for the first 2 weeks.
Higher rates of obesity, which is a huge risk factor. Everybody promoted masks, but we never put the same emphasis on diet and exercise.
Now you're questioning the mask?
I just think it's typical for us to try to throw a Band-Aid over something rather than address the actual problem.
Yeah, I'm still learning about obesity in school. Also, Yeah, some people got more fat in the pandemic, but some people also got stronger too. So, you know, working out, like, going on walks, I guess, and whatnot. So that's neat, I guess. Also, one last thing. I changed my profile because every time I'm, like, in a PooperU comment section, somebody calls me a communist. And I thought, you know, it'd be funny. Mr. Krabs in a leather jacket. I'm just, I don't know. It's like people call me a communist because conservatives do this all the time. Everything I don't like is woke or communist. And I think that's stupid. Also, and, you know, my old profile was Kim Jong-il, or I guess a young Kim Jong-il, and that didn't help at all. Also, I'll be I'll be watching the presidential supercut when it comes live at Thursday at 5 p.m. Arkansas time, okay? And I will be there. I'll be answering some questions in the chat and basically talking, so if you want to go there, you can, I guess. That'd be fun.